So here are our two examples. The first one involves finding the equation of the median, and before I even begin, I'm going to plot out where this triangle is. So it doesn't have to be an accurate sketch, but just getting a feel for it. There's P at -3, Q at 7, 1, and R at 5, 8. As I say, there is nothing much accurate about that, but it just gives me a feel for, okay, here are my points, what am I trying to find? And just gives me a quick reference when I'm looking at the question. So I'd always recommend just sketching a quick picture to get a feel for what's happening. Now, we are asked to go for the median from Q. So that is the line joining Q to the midpoint of the opposite side. So that's just returning to our definition of the median. The median is the line joining Q to the midpoint of the opposite side. Well, that's helpful because as soon as I've got my picture, I can see I need to find the midpoint between P and R. So first thing I'm going to do is midpoint of PR. And the midpoint of PR, remember that's the mean of the x-coordinates, so -1 plus 5 over 2. And the mean of the, P and R, median of the y-coordinates, so -3 plus 8 over 2. And here we get 4 over 2, which is 2. Here we get -3 plus 8 is 5 over 2. You could write that as 2.5, but at the moment I'm going to leave it as 5 over 2 for the sake of what we're doing. Next thing I need to do is I'm trying to find the equation of this line from the midpoint to Q. Well, if I know 2 points, I could rephrase my question as find the equation of the line through, and what 2 points does my line need to go through? Well, it needs to go through that midpoint, which is 2, 5 over 2. And what's the second point we need to go through? Well, we must go through Q because that's the other point in the line that we know, and 7, 1. Well, if I want to find the equation of the line, I need a gradient. So there's my gradient formula. Working out my gradient, I'm doing 1 take away 5 over 2, all over 7 take away 2. Now at this point, it might be handier to keep this or think of this as 2.5. So I'm going to actually just change that quickly to 2.5. It just makes my life a bit easier, less fractions to deal with. So that's -1.5 over 5, which is equal to -0.3, or if you kept everything as fractions, -3 over 10. So we now need to find our equation of our line. We've got our line with that gradient and passing through these points. Now this one looks easier to put in, so I'm actually going to use this one as we're going through. So we've got our two methods, y equals mx plus c. So y equals -3 over 10x plus c. Now we put our point in, so we get 1 equals -3 over 10 times 7 plus c. That's 21 over 10. That's 10 over 10. Just write that. And so c equals 31 over 10. So our final line equation, I'll get it on the screen, is y equals -3 over 10 x plus 31 over 10. Second method, or the alternative method, would be to use this formula. We've got y minus, in this case b is 1, -3 over 10 x minus 7. Multiply 3 by the 10, so we get 10y minus 10 equals -3 lots of x plus 7. Expand the bracket, we get 10y minus 10 equals -3x minus 21. Add the 10 to both sides. That's a -7, so that's a plus 21. So we get 10y equals minus 3x plus 31. And that, our two equations at the bottom there, are identical. I've just divided through by 10 to get this one. Okay, so that gives you an example of finding the median. Just quick review of our key ideas there. We know that the median is the line joining this vertex to the midpoint of the opposite side. So the first thing we did was find the midpoint. Second thing was to do our normal line equation method, but with that midpoint that we've just found and the vertex that we're going through here, which was Q. So we've used the vertex we're going through and our midpoint and found the equation of the line through those 2 points. Okay, so have a go at the median questions, and next example is going to be one of calculating the equation of an altitude.